So now we've talked about 1 through 9. We've talked about singular numbers. We've talked about the understanding of dualistic numbers. And now I'm going to show you a pattern that actually not only is on your phone. So in other words, you use it every single day and you just didn't know it. Okay? So to do that, we need to talk about Nikola Tesla's I'm going to go ahead and write these first. Okay, these are our 9 singular numbers. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take Nikola Tesla's little hint at why they're so important. We're going to drop out the 3, we're going to drop out the 6, and we're going to drop out the 9. When we do that, we're going to be left with 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Okay? These are actually Vortex math numbers. So Vortex math means doubling. If I were to go ahead and take 1 times 2, I'm going to get 2. If I take 2 times 2, I'm going to get 4. 4 times 2 is going to be 8. 8 times 2 is going to be 16. 16 times 2 is going to be 32. 32 times 2 is going to be 64. 64 times 2 is going to be 128. Okay? Now, if I were to continue this, just doubling, I'm going to end up just putting the next number here. What you'll notice is I've got a 2, I've got a 4, I've got an 8, I've got a 7. 1 plus 6 is 7. I've got a 5, 3 plus 2 is 5. I've got a 1, 6 plus 4 is 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1. And then I've got a 2. 1 plus 8 plus 2 is going to be 10, plus 1 is going to be 11, 1 plus 1 is going to be 2. If I were to keep going, 128 times 2 is going to end up being 256. Okay? 256 times 2 is going to end up being 512. Okay? So I know that 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5 is vortex math. In other words, there's a specific order of these numbers that give you vortex math. So if I started with 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, 2, what should be next? The next should be 4. So I'm going to write that there, and I'm going to write 8 here, because I'm going to show you that you can actually predict this. Okay? So we're going to look here. 5 plus 6 is 11, which is going to end up being 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is going to end up being 4. I predicted that. 5 plus 1 plus 2 is going to be 8. There it is. So if I were to continue doubling at this point, I'm going to get this pattern. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And it will repeat to infinity. It will never stop. As long as I'm using doubling, I am always going to repeat this number over and over and over. Okay? Nikola Tesla knew this. He knew that there were 2 different types of energy that you're working with. There's what is defined as doubling, and then there's singular. Okay? So what is singular? 3, 6, and 9. Or more importantly, 9 all the way across. Okay, so now that we know that when we double by 2, we end up creating 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 to infinity, what happens when we start with 3 and 6? Right? Nikola Tesla said, if you only knew magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have a key to the universe. Well, what was he talking about? Let's find out. So we're going to go ahead and take 3 times 2, which is going to be 6. Okay? 6 times 2 is going to be 12. 12 times 2 is going to end up being 24. 24 times 2 is going to end up being 48. So you might have noticed very quickly, I've got a 6 1 plus 2 is going to be a 3. 2 plus 4 is going to be a 6. 4 plus 8 is going to be 12, which is going to be a 3. It oscillates back and forth. Okay? It swings back and forth. 3, 6, 3, 6, 6, 3, 6, 3. Right? So now we notice that for some odd reason, the numbers that are not in vortex math, when following doubling, end up revealing 3 and 6 that are basically there the whole time. So why is 9 so different? Well, 9 is different because 1, 3 plus 6 is going to end up being 9. But if I were to continue that exact same doubling and I do 9 times 2, I get 18. 18 times 2 is 36. 36 times 2 is 72. 72 times 2 is 144. So I notice instantly that 1 plus 8 is 9, 3 plus 6 is 9, 72 is 9, 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. So 9 does something completely different. It doesn't oscillate back and forth, and it doesn't create anything to do with vortex math. It actually ends up revealing itself every single time. Okay? So when Nikola Tesla was talking about if you only need the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have a key to the universe, he was pointing out something very, very important. Okay? And I'm going to show you exactly what that is.